Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Just getting from a beautiful walk. It's gorgeous out there tonight, isn't it?
It is so magical outside.
We were just talking about this concept and wanted to share this with you guys and get your thoughts. So, I haven't really come up with a title, but basically, do you need things outside, physical things to make you feel better inside is the whole concept,
Right.
right? I mean, that's the thought process.
Right. Well, there's a lot of theories that, people that are, compulsive shoppers are constantly trying to fill themselves, up with happiness. And as soon as they purchase one thing that made them happy in the art of the purchase, moments later, that same emptiness that they had within is back. And so they may go and purchase again and again and again. And, I think we need to stop the madness. And we are a society of consumers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's part of the awakening. And the more I dig into this, the more I study it, it's kind of like I feel like we're finding this along the way, that we don't need a lot of the stuff. Everything you need to be happy in this life is right here inside your own self. We talk a lot about self-love. That's first and foremost, but then I've been getting a lot better trying to focus on not being, having to move to the next thing or feel like I have to be doing something productive. Karen called it the art of relaxation early on, and how I needed to, just be able to relax. And I think now if I have to wait for something, or if I'm waiting for you, you're running in the grocery store, I'm outside, maybe I'm doing email, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just looking at the trees and the birds, and I'm in a meditative state. I mean, I think that's what it's about, when you have enough within that you really don't need anything outside to make it your life better.
So I think what I hear you saying is it's not only stuff or purchases that people are garnering to make themselves feel better within, but it may be doing something. The need to always be doing the next thing, right?
Well, I think it's almost a insanity where you're always like trying to find something better constantly. I mean, I think you get on this wheel, and there's many times where we're here today on Copper Mountain, and the weather's changing, the leaves are out rustling, you can feel it in the air, you can smell it in the air of the fall. It's beautiful. I mean, you really don't want to be anywhere else. I mean, could we be?
I don't want to be.
I mean, could we be in the Bahamas and be on the beach and smelling the ocean and walking the beach, collecting shells and having fun there? Absolutely. But do we need that to be happy? No.
Well,
right?
to be quite honest, I mean, that would be so beautiful as well. But I don't have an inkling at this moment to, to say I'd rather be anywhere else than right where I am. And, even just up here, there are no people up here. We live on the side of a mountain at a ski resort, and they've been closed. The ski resorts have been closed. They closed on March, I think, 14th of this year. They closed early because of what was going on in the world. And they did open for, there's also a golf course here. They did open for golf. Jeffrey and I don't play golf. But they did open for golf, and they've closed again. So right now, this location is extremely quiet and somewhat desolate. Some people would think it was boring. I think it's magical. I love it. And I don't love it for the reasons that, that are, I need to have a beach. There's really, the mountains are glorious, and I don't want to say there's nothing here. But what I love about being here right now is just being here with you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's all you need, and I'm kind of re-listening to the whole Tao Te Ching.
Yes.
Right? And
I think that's the correct pronunciation.
And something was going in my mind, like the sage dresses very plain, because
now explain for people who haven't read that or listened to it. When you talk about the sage, I use sage to smudge and do clearings in our environment. You're not talking about the sage in that respect.
Now, a sage is like an enlightened person, that basically.
We all haven't read the book or listened to it, so it's important for people to understand what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, yeah, but I mean, a sage is like outside of this book. I mean, I think the sage is like if you ever watched Kung Fu when you were a kid. It's like, grasshopper snatched the pebble from my hand. I think that's a sage. But it's someone who's very enlightened. But basically, the sage or the enlightened person dresses very plain because they have so many jewels on the inside. All the value is on the inside. They don't have to put this outpouring. And these are all very simple words, so you can kind of turn this into anything. It's like you could say the person is just very happy being on the side of the mountain or in the woods. They don't need to have a private jet. They don't need to have the boats. They don't need to have all these homes.
Right.
That's the metaphor for dressing flashy.
Right.
The inside, you have all the goodness on the inside. That's the gems on the inside. And so it made me think about all this. And we've been on this journey of minimalization, try to minimizing the stuff we have. We could still get rid of a lot more stuff.
Yes.
But it is very enlightening. I do get that. I mean, it's an interesting concept when you think about it that way, because I think we've all been there, and wherever you are in your life, you've probably experienced some of this, whether it's that new car. You get that new car, it's so great the first time you get it, the smell of that new car, and then next day goes by, and maybe it gets a ding in it, grocery cart hits it or whatever. All of a sudden it's not that great anymore. You gotta get the next new car. Or we were talking about the iPhones. It's like people are insane about these iPhones. It's like, I got one here on the stand that's filming us right now. It's like the new one's coming out. I was just reading about it. It's the new 12, 5G. There's going to be people in lines trying to get this thing. And why? I mean, this one works just fine.
This one's amazing. My mom still has a flip phone. Right? And she loves it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she'll ever give it up.
Yeah.
And she said she doesn't text it. It does what she needs it to do. I look at cars that way. I've always looked at cars that way. They get me to where I need to go. I've never really been interested in a flashy car or anything like that. But with that said, I'm not going to say that sometimes I don't enjoy, for those of you who know me, know that I love to ski and that I do have an affinity for, and I guess I'll use the word flashy, although it's not flashy, ski pants, different ski pants. I love ski pants, right? And during the winters, I live in ski pants.
Well, we both do. Only the difference is, so I'm a little more, I'm going to just go out on a limb here. I'm a little more enlightened there because I pride myself in wearing the same ski pants every day.
That's right.
Right? I take them off to wash them.
He did buy a sports car, and then 6 months later, they came out with a different version, and he felt the need to trade us in. This is the past, right?
I'm talking about it. We're in the now.
I haven't purchased a pair of ski pants in a bit, but with that said, I am not going to lie that I enjoy that.
No, it's great.
And we talked about clothing too. We just had a really fun conversation as we took our walk tonight, and we both have more than enough clothes, even though we did pare down a lot, substantially. And I was saying that I still enjoy, and I'm not a big clothes shopper. I'll do as much as I possibly can online to not have to go into a store and shop, because that isn't really what I'm all about. But I do love the hunt of the online now and again. And I feel that although the jewels on the inside of the sage are where all the real gems are, that I think it's okay to want to express yourself, right?
Right. Well,
on the outside.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole discussion here, and everyone's going to fall different on the scale. We always talk about the scale. Karen and I talk about over here. You're completely unconscious, meaning you don't even know what we're talking about here. And enlightenment over here, you're fully enlightened. Maybe you're a monk on the hill, on the mountain, just meditating. And we talk about how far do you want to go on the spectrum? We don't want to be, monks on the hill just meditating, because we have a great relationship. We want to continue that. We want to take care of our daughters and their significant others and spend time with them. I mean, there's things that we're focused on here. By the way, that's all external. That's not internal. Right. If you're following what we're putting down here, once you're completely whole inside and enlightened, you really don't need any of that stuff.
You're basically a monk, not communicating with other people.
Well,
and
you're
sitting in silence.
fully spiritual. I mean, that's kind of like, and depending on what you believe, that's where we came from. We came down this planet to experience this life, to taste the food, to drink the wine, to ski the mountains or surf the oceans or whatever it is that you want to do.
Yes.
We're here for the experience. So we came from this pristine source of enlightenment. It's just a spark of light, and then we're in these physical bodies. We're living all this. We're trying to get back to enlightenment, but how far do you go? How far do you want to go?
Right.
Yeah,
we do. It's a fascinating discussion because you can be down in the very low vibrational state, or you can be at love and joy in the 500 and 600, and peace I think hits 700, or once you hit enlightenment all the way at the top of the vibrational scale, at that level you are not doing most of the things that most people on earth are doing anymore. You're not really engaging in everyday activities in life the way most people are, because you are so enlightened. You really need nothing, and you need no one.
It's a pretty amazing concept. Right? If you can get mostly there, and you don't need a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Focus on experiencing life and for what it is.
Right, but even a lot of the experiences become less of a necessity once you're fully enlightened. You don't need to go anywhere or do anything.
Well, you're thinking experiences like going to the islands, for instance. I'm talking about experiences like when you take the dog outside and you just smell the air and you see the leaves are changing on the aspens out there and the bird feeders we have and the birds. I mean that's an experience too.
Absolutely.
I mean, we as humans are looking to enhance those experiences. It's like you need to get on a plane, you need to get on a boat, you need to go somewhere, you need to be in a fancy hotel. I mean, all that stuff is great too, but at the end of the day, do you really need all that? And the answer is no, you really don't. I mean, if you have it within. Right, that's the whole concept.
Exactly. If you have it within, and that's really, we're not talking about saying I don't need anything else and I'm going to give away all my worldly possessions, right? But we're talking about if you need to keep purchasing or keep doing or keep getting things.
Keep looking for that right person. And then upgrading and constantly, right?
Trading people in, right? Or trading jobs in. If you are not feeling satisfied and you're trying to fulfill that satisfaction from an outside source, it's just not going to happen.
Right. Well, you need to just look inside and find out why. What's driving that. So that's the point. Yeah, she's woke up. We got to take care of her. But that's the question for the day. I mean, do you really need things externally to make you feel better internally? I guess that's the concept. Right. But we'd love to hear your thoughts about that. And
just before you go, you get so mad when I do this. But I want to hear about the phone, the iPhone. If you've got, if you've got an iPhone, I do. Jeffrey does, and we have the latest version, not the new one that's coming out. And I don't plan on upgrading. But if you have it and you plan on upgrading, comment down below why. I really like to know. I mean, is the latest and greatest. Same thing goes with, if you have a car that works great. I'm not talking about one, with 150, 200,000 miles on it that isn't working so great or, whatever. But if you have, I know a lot of people that buy a new car every other year. And I'm just wondering why. So I would just love to see the comments down below of what is the...
For anything that you're
anything
that you're buying, anything externally, why do you need it? Why do you feel like you need it?
Right.
All right, I think I know the answer to that. But anyway, let's hear from you guys. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And we'd love to hear your comments down below and love to have you along for this ride.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrage.